What you've seen and what you can prove is two different stories. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you tell me, but I know you're full of you know.
Drop a like to this video if you love Pawn Stars. Hey there everyone, what's up and welcome back to another video on Film Top. Even if you've been in the pawn business for decades and think that you're immune to being scammed, think again, as even the highly experienced cast of the famous reality show Pawn Stars, who are undoubtedly masters in their field, have been duped quite a lot of times. Let's go through some of the instances where Pawn Stars got slaughtered by scammers. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on anything. Alright, let's get to it. Number 6. Fake diamonds.
I gave him $40,000. 3 days later, the police took him from me. That was the biggest bust I ever had in the pawn shop.
It was told by Rick Harrison in a segment on the History Channel that the biggest bust ever to take place in the pawn shop was when he was conned into spending money on fake diamond earrings by a sleek-looking man in a sharp suit who was able to answer all of Rick's queries properly and even possessed a receipt for the item. Rick eventually bought the diamonds for an astounding $40,000. The deal seemed to have gone smoothly, but this was interrupted when the police showed up at the store and told them that the diamonds were stolen and Rick lost his 40 grand. Number 5. Fake cubic zirconias.
If you're not sure whether your diamond's real or fake, take it to your local jewelry shop, local pawn shop, anybody that buys and sells diamonds. They'll be able to tell you right away.
The late Richard Harrison, better known as the Old Man, once told that the item he has been most deceived by have been inauthentic diamonds. When the famous zirconia diamonds were first introduced and started gaining recognition in the late 70s and 80s, their fake versions came along and a great number of pawn shops got scammed. Richard Harrison's store was no exception, as he himself wasted $30,000 on such fake pieces. Even though it may not be that hard to identify inauthentic diamonds these days, Richard's grandson Corey Harrison even did a whole segment on the History Channel explaining how to differentiate fake diamonds from real diamonds. Number 4. The Jimi Hendrix guitar. A guy once entered the shop with a guitar in his hands that, according to him, was owned by the music legend Jimi Hendrix. You could see Rick's fanboy side quite clearly upon hearing this, and his interest in such an item became quite apparent. As usual, an expert was called to the store to examine the guitar, and it was authenticated by him, and its worth was put at a jaw-dropping $1 million. Rick offered the seller $450,000 and offered that the seller refused and turned to walk out of the store. Rick then shot up his offer to $600,000, but the seller rejected that as well. The shady part of this whole story was that it was found out that the guitar was bought by the expert who came to check it out and put it at auction by him. This only implied that he may have made a deal with the seller in secret and prevented Rick from buying it for himself. Number 3. Inauthentic Rolex watches. Since his childhood, big host Corey Harrison has been working in the pawn shop and has tons of experience in this field. But even he had to learn a few lessons the hard way and got scammed himself a bunch of times as well. He told a story in a segment that as an 18-year-old, when he used to work the night shifts at the shop, he got scammed into spending cash on 6 Rolex watches that he later found out were not real. This mistake caused the shop to lose around $4,000 and ticked off the Harrison family greatly. Number 2. The Wells Fargo Strong Box.
I don't have good news for you. This is a complete fantasy piece. It's a complete fake.
It may be a rare occurrence when Rick himself makes a blunder, but it does happen. Rick once made the mistake of blowing money on an item without calling in an expert like he usually does and bought it even though he was skeptical about it. Rick's $450 went down the drain after he threw it on the 19th century Wells Fargo Strong Box, which turned out to be fake according to an expert. Number 1. The fake Willie Mays uniform.
What do we got? Hey, I got this 61 Willie Mays uniform. I got this jersey with the matching pants.
A big blunder was made by Corey after he blew around $31,000 on a baseball uniform about which he was convinced belonged to the legend Willie Mays and was worn in a game by him as well. Even though the uniform displayed some clear pointers of not being authentic, such as being in too much of a pristine condition and did not show any signs of being game-worn. A thing that was pointed out by Chumley, as Willie Mays was well known for sliding in the dirt and being rough on the field. On top of that, the seller did not even have any paperwork with him that would confirm the uniform as being real, but Big Host decided to take the gamble. A gamble which would but turn out to be in his favor. The shop then found out that the uniform was never worn by Willie Mays and, according to an expert, was nothing but a copy. They went through a loss of around $10,000 and were only able to sell it for $19,250. The Harrisons may look strong in their field, but blunders, such as being scammed, can end up being done to them as well. These were some of the times the pawn stores got slaughtered by scammers. This brings us to the end of our video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then let us know by liking the video. Stick around for more amazing content, as we will be soon seeing you in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.